an already difficult situation. It is important to note that chiropractic services also keep in place health care providers, first responders, and others who have physically strenuous jobs that support critical infrastructure, such as truck drivers,
Hello everybody, I'm Chris Fernandez and welcome back to Global Sports Network. This is Thursday here in Houston. John, a lot of news, a lot of things getting started. I'm here with
John Foster. All right, Chris Fernandez.
Yes, we're here to talk sports, guys. John, a lot of things are happening this week. John, everything's getting started. Yes, sir.
A lot.
Houston Dynamo is starting right around the 8th of July. John is starting with the training camp. Of course, they'll be at the Sports Park here in Houston training. Unfortunately, we won't be able to cover.
Yeah, they're not allowing you to go out there, Chris. What is that? The media, so the media is not allowed to go.
No media. It's very, very super limited.
You've never been. You've gone to all the
I've gone to baseball, anything that's professional. I've gone to Final Four. I've gone to FIFA. Anything that has to do with sports here in Houston, we've covered the last 15 years, John. Right. Whether it's El Dorado News, El Dorado Sports, and now Stellar News and Global Sports Network. We're doing it, John. We've done it, again, for the last 15 years. And right now I can tell you, and with other sports also, especially NBA, especially Major League Baseball, media is not going to be there.
Right.
They will be there, John, but they'll be very limited.
I think we were talking before we went on the air here, Chris and I, about how media is changing in all of sports and how it's going to be covered, you know. Chris is used to being down on the field. I've been down on the field with him a few times, you know, with the Texans, and it's going to change. It's changing everything, and I have some points of view that I think that are going to happen with not only how the media covers it, but I just got a good update just now that the French Open is going to allow 60% of the fans in.
Oh, wow.
And I have a friend flying to Europe, and he just told me in Europe everything is good in Europe right now. Or, you know, that Europe is doing better than America as far as
the virus.
Yeah.
Because remember, they were in awful space back in February and March. They were just terrible.
Yeah.
January.
No, he's flying out. I just talked to him, you know, minutes before the show here, and he says, now I'm getting on the plane. They okayed me. He's going to England. And everything's opening up in England next week. Everything's opening up. So that's good to hear. I was surprised to hear that. I thought he'd be going over there, and I know Germany was a mess for a while.
Yeah, they were definitely, and hopefully that'll ring up in here also, John. Just a couple of things here in the wide world of sports. We realize that sports is an option. Don't have to do it. Don't have to have it. But we can take little trips to the real world. And so that's where I'm going to go visit with you right now. Today, Governor Ron DeSantis here in Florida has issued and sent out a new law, signed a new bill to law today. It's the E-Verify, which is here in Houston also. But the reason it's so important in Houston is because, in Florida, is because in Florida, of course, you have all your immigrants. Those are who are illegal and those who are legal, John. And very basically, it's going to hurt the U.S. economy. It's going to hurt our food base. It's going to hurt the kind of food that's coming to our table, John, because the folks that pick your apples, your lettuce, your salad, well, they're not Caucasian. They're not black. They're not Asian, John.
They're from
Latin America or Mexico, definitely. And this is going to affect them really bad. I believe it's just a move for the governor in bids to run for Congress. So
does that mean our grocery bill is going to go up?
Let's hope it's not. Let's hope it's not. Let's hope that Governor DeSantis decides to curtail a little bit that bill, that law, Actually, once the bill is signed into law, it's called law. Right now, it's law. It's no longer a bill. And also, when you get pulled over, your ID's got to make sure you got your paperwork. All that is a hazard, John.
Right.
It's a hazard, and all it's going to lead to is illegal and fraud documentation. It's going to lead to hiring of folks that are not legal with illegal documentations and making employers be in the hot seat.
Right.
And that's not something good. And today our weather is about 85 degrees here in Houston. Guys, watch yourselves. John, let's go back to sports.
Let's go. Yeah, let's
Yes,
talk some
let's do
sports
it.
here at the Edge. And we're down there in Galveston, right? Galveston.
Right.
101.7 FM in Galveston and Houston, 1540.
Talking
AM.
about Galveston, one last point. Guys, remember, please, Galveston will be closed 4th of July. Refrain from going out there.
Really? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Houston's on lockdown. So Galveston's
Well,
on lockdown,
we're
too.
talking Galveston, the beaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
man.
Can't go.
Who
We're
wants to
not
go
going.
to Galveston Beach anyhow?
Which is-
Head down to St. Padre, guys.
And this is going to where we're trying to get to with sports, is that
South Padre Island.
for everything that's happened that's real to you and I, everything that's happened these last few months, it affects almost everything. We have to realize that sports is not a necessity, but for those folks that earn a living playing sports, it is. For your sports superstars, probably ain't, John, because they have a lot of reserve, have a lot of money. But nonetheless, Players Union in baseball, of course, made it the big deal, John, wanting to get their money. All I see is problems. Major League Baseball, that's what I'm
Well,
talking about.
they had those problems coming anyway, and I don't know, some people say that the COVID-19 helped them negotiate this contract deal, but they don't look very smart, and we kind of had that argument before.
Oh, yeah,
Chris
we
Fernandez, you were saying that baseball players
right.
make a lot of money, and I said, no, they don't, and they don't. There's a few players that make a lot of money, and I think those players cost most of these younger players the
Not to
season.
get paid, right.
Because they get paid $30 million, Harper, Trout, these guys. So instead of them losing, or not being able to make even half of their money, they said, hey, this isn't a good deal.
Right,
Or,
Tom.
that's how I saw it. How did you see it?
Well, we're basically, Players Union is representing the majority of the players. And they didn't want to start the season with the current monies going towards this new 60-game season, and which I see, and I told you, if we don't get it started by the first week, by the 4th of July, let's just not have it. I don't believe it's going to be very effective. This is something you don't agree with me.
I think. Well, I mean, and some people are saying, well, why even play it? It should have asterisks is next to it, and it's not. BS. I'm sorry. You know what? That is a more exciting season to watch, man. Every
No,
game's going to be a playoff game. You sit there and watch
Right.
baseball during the season,
These
and who
games,
cares all
John,
season long?
These Major League Baseball games are going to be very limited to what you can do and you can't do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it's gonna
on
change the dynamics.
Right, it has changed
Yeah.
on the field. And this has nothing to do with their salaries. The only thing I'm saying when it comes to player salaries is that, folks, you get paid to what? Play.
Yeah.
So
But-
do me a favor. It's a short season. Just play.
Yeah, but here's the thing too, Chris, and you realize this, a lot of the players, and I thought about this too, that the quality of play is going to be down. There's no doubt, because Altuve, if anybody knows about Altuve and the rituals he goes through, he's in the video room, he gets off, he does his hot, and then he goes on the field, he's got to take 100 swings, now they're separating. He's not going to be able to do his routine, so how effective, you're not going to see him at the bat.
No, no, and guess what? Some of the guidelines are these. You can't argue calls. You won't be able to argue, talk back. You're not going to be able to
You
spit.
can't put on a face mask and argue? What's the
Nope.
matter with these guys?
Nope, that's not going to happen, John. And you will
I think
have
they should change that rule.
you will
And
have
vote change.
replay. And of course, the one thing that's going to affect, and we talked about this, motivation. There will not be fans in the stadium, John. Okay, there will not be any music as you
The
step
French
up.
Open, there will be
Right.
60% capacity.
As you walk up to bat, let's just say you're batting
Yeah.
in your NRG or
Okay.
stadium.
Give me the bat.
You're up to bat.
All right, I'm at
There
bat.
is no organ, no
Who's on
piano
first?
music, nothing is going to come on for you. So
No,
the
no,
player,
why not?
No, they're not going to
Why?
play.
No music?
No music.
Why?
No fans. No noise.
I don't know. They
You're
got to
gonna be
make
able-
it entertaining.
the plus-
They're going to take away the entertainment from TV.
The plus would be you're going to be able to hear the dugout.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to hear what they say.
Yeah, but
That's
guys,
the plus.
Chris, you know, you played baseball for years. So did I. Who cares? When you go up the bat, I don't hear anything, dude. I'm focused in. You're focused in. A true hitter, a true player. All that doesn't mean anything. But what means something is if I can't go through my routine to get me into that professional level.
Right.
But
You have to get into that zone.
You know what? You're going to find. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to find the truly great athletes that don't need to do the homework. The
Well,
guys that
we're gonna definitely
that's,
find out,
That's probably
John.
like there's guys out there like this that are going to surpass the Altuve or somebody like that. Who can just turn it on, doesn't need to do the homework. You know that guy, and I know that guy from high school, right? I hated that guy.
Gotcha. Well, it looks like we're going to go into a small break, and we'll be
Yeah,
right
well,
back
we got a
in
couple
few
minutes here. Yeah, the French Open just came through, and I just saw it on my phone here. 60% capacity at the French Open, which we just talked about. Europe's opening up, so it should be very good for tennis to get back on. Tennis, by the way, Chris, has been really. I've been watching it. They're doing it all around the world. I have a girl playing in Florida. On a lower level, she's like 1,000 in the world, but she's been beaten 305 in the world, 855. Rhiannon Newborn. We'll have her on. And we were just talking to the owner of the station. I'd like to get probably Zena Garrison on here. I haven't met Zena before, but I've talked to her on the phone. And then also Lori McNeil, who I thought I've had her on
Definitely.
radio before, so we'll get her in here. And a few other people. You know who I'd like to get in here is John Lucas.
Ah, yeah.
John Lucas. I
definitely.
won a tennis tournament with John Lucas, and I haven't seen him in a long time. I'm going to work on that one.
Hey,
Yeah.
we can do two things at once. Your basketball
Yeah.
and your tennis on that
There you
one.
go. That's right. Yeah, he's one of the players, and we mentioned John Lucas. Like Malcolm doesn't even know who John Lucas is now. And John Lucas
John
was a
is,
pro basketball player and a pro tennis player.
Right. And you said, you mentioned, Mr. Lucas, there was that, I think it was the Pro-Am Tour? Pro-Am?
Yeah, pro-am that was at Westside that I won. Yeah, we beat Pancho Gonzalez. That's back in 1987. But I'm only 40, Chris.
I was a sophomore, John.
I'm
High
40
school.
years old, Chris.
I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh man, I'm older than you. I'm older than the walls.
Well, I could
paint on
have
these
been
walls.
a freshman.
Yeah.
What month was it in '87?
In '80s, I don't know.
Was it May?
It was a good month, but I didn't lose a set in that whole weekend.
Good.
Yeah.
So you were on.
I was on. Oh, I was on. Yeah, it was funny. I'd like to talk to John. Franco Harris, Lynn Swan, Ahmad Rashad. I met all these guys. They were like, they knew I was going to win. I had Franco Harris coming up to me going, "Are you nervous?" I said, "Were you nervous in the Super Bowl?" And I remember I'm pointing him in the chest, and he kind of looks like. I'm like, as I put my finger, but he was admiring me, and that's something to have your idols admiring you. It's.
I think that's great, John. And we're going to
Awesome.
give this folks our number here. That way, if they want to call in, if they have any comments on the new seasons,
Yep,
they
so-
want to say anything.
Yeah, call in
What's
and
the number,
talk to
John?
Chris and tell him he's crazy. He's legit. 281-587-1540, and that's the Edge here in Houston.
right.
So call us, and our producer over there will screen you in, and we'll
Right.
talk sports.
We'll screen you.
All right, everybody.
Edge Radio Network, where we have conscious conversations.
Edge is about love, relationships, and healing.
Edge Radio is for everyone and about everyone.
Edge is about working together.
Edge Radio is about recreating a beautiful body.
Edge is about community, synergy, and empowerment.
Edge is about being kind, compassionate, and loving to all.
Edge Radio is about beauty and fashion.
各位观众 ，Edge Radio 是大家最好听的一个电台，不要忘记听哦。Yeah, I love Radio. You can hear all about the topic and join us soon.
Edge is about being on the edge and not jumping. Yes.
When people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
This is former Rocket Robert Reed.
This is Mel Jewell of Athletes United.
and we want to talk to you about our new program and podcast. We're talking about former athletes who are doing a lot of things in the community.
Various athletes in various sports, swimming, track, soccer, football, baseball, you name it.
Former and current athletes here in the greater Houston area.
All promoting wellness, health, all promoting that which makes us all better.
Of Edge Radio, truth still matters.
Arango Chiropractic Clinic, and today I'd like to inform you that Doctors of Chiropractic are primary contact healthcare providers who provide essential care, including but not limited to managing acute and urgent musculoskeletal conditions. These services are critical for managing cases that otherwise could end up in the emergency rooms, worsening an already difficult situation. It is important to note that chiropractic services also keep in place health care providers, first responders, and others who have physically strenuous jobs that support critical infrastructure, such as truck drivers who continue to ensure that America's healthcare and food supplies get to where they are needed during the COVID-19 pandemic. This information was brought to you by Arango Chiropractic Clinic and Edge Radio, 1540 AM and 101.7 FM.
Been feeling a little edgy lately? Listen to Edge Radio. That'll push you over the top. 1540 AM and 101.7 FM.
You're a great...
All right, everybody, thank you. Welcome back to Global Sports Network here on the Edge, Houston, Texas. John, we're talking. I think it was tennis.
Tennis, yes. Tennis is back. So yeah, it's back strong, Chris. Like I was saying, they got it down where the guys are using their own balls. So when you serve, you have your own balls. There's
are they wiping down
some
balls?
Of these,
or
no. You just use your balls. He doesn't touch your balls. You only work with your balls, and then he uses his can of balls, to and then there's no ball kids. At the bigger events now, they got some ball kids. You run around with some gloves on, some fewer people. Things are spread out. The coaches are, in the stands and separated. It's so funny sometimes you'll watch the coach and the player, and they're 6 feet apart. I've seen it where they're together, but sometimes they're separated. So it's interesting. But tennis is doing good so far. That's one sport, and I'm busy again.
What happened with Djokovic?
Okay.
Do you have any updates on that?
Djokovic, yeah.
From last week?
All right. Well, yeah, the week, maybe even the week before.
I know that he had his own tennis tournament, and then he was shaking hands, having parties, and celebrating. And then before you know it, we hear that he has it.
He has it. His wife has it. His mom and his dad have it. And the big sports news was when the father, Djokovic's dad, stepped out and said that the first guy that tested positive for it since all the parties, and they were at nightclubs and they show him dancing and just like nothing's going on, and then they were hugging at the net and taking pictures, and Djokovic, he thought he was doing a good thing, or he didn't know how. I'll tell you what, that really, for me, Chris, and I hate to say, I took it serious before. I didn't think it was a fake thing. I didn't think it was something I couldn't get, but it didn't really hit home until Djokovic got it, and his wife has it. And, Tom Hanks had it, and his wife had it. So you get over it. And then, and this is a disease that, we don't have an answer. We're not going to have an answer for many years. Right. And I could get into that. I think it's definitely going to change sports. It's going to change the athletes that get into sports, who can get into sports. So we might have some great athletes that have to retire or want to retire and can't play anymore. And you're going to get other people that aren't going to be able to. And how about college sports? Because right now we might not even have it.
Right. One of the things that we talked about last week when we started, Global Sports Network, and of course, a lot of you don't remember, but, welcome, Global Sports Network. John Foster and myself been doing sports for possibly the last 6 or 7 years together. And very basically, Eldorado News and Stellar News will be doing it for 15 years. John, and what we talked about last Friday was, well, okay, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have starter seasons. Well, what kind of teams are we going to have? How are we going to field a team if, player X gets COVID? That's 14, 15 days he's out.
Yeah, see, but here's the thing, Chris, just like what you're saying, and this is, you know what, I hate to be the spoiler and the bringer of bad news, but America, world, I cannot see, personally, I love it, it's coming back, hopefully it starts up, it's not, no league, mark my words, you've made predictions before, there's no league, football, baseball, or basketball, that's going to make it through the season. They're all going to, because when they get tested, and like what happened with Djokovic, there's already 3 or 4 more people already that you've been around, so they're pulling you out 2-3 days too late. So there's going to be teams that are going to be disqualified. So now is the league going to continue the league without that team involved? I don't see that as even possible. And then they're going to realize, look, it's out of control. We can't do it.
It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be over before it starts. We're using the LeBron James factor here. LeBron James is your superstar. He is your team. Week 1 or startup, day 1, day 2, day 3, game 3, whatever you want to call it. He comes down with COVID. He's down 14 days. There's the mini season. You're done.
Well, and see, I don't know about you, but I would watch basketball I love watching LeBron, but if LeBron was out and whoever was in, hey, game on, let's go, let's watch. I mean, baseball or anything.
Understood.
Let's watch. I mean, we're all fiending right now for sports, so, I mean, I don't care if
the other thing was,
Harper goes out or LeBron goes out or Djokovic goes out.
In fielding these teams, and you put in Djokovic to play, take LeBron
now you
James,
have a crowd watching.
Yeah, you take the place of LeBron James.
Yeah.
What kind of team are you going to have?
And
what are you giving, basically, in Major League Baseball, the Players Union, and getting paid more money for this season? What are you bringing the fans?
TV revenue. Yeah, TV revenue goes out the door too. So that's a true factor too. Back in the day,
about that too.
Back in the day with tennis, I mean, that's why like McEnroe throwing his racket and Connors and this and that, and the umpire would come out. I mean, you couldn't, even though McEnroe just knocked over a cup, broke his racket, told everybody to go, and you couldn't kick him out because that was your audience. You can't tell this guy to go home. The next day there would be nobody in the stands in the finals watching Steve Simmons play Todd Taylor.
John, one of the it's just like we talked about. I think it was way back before. I think you did radio with me. I had asked you on the court, and we talked about this many a times. And you can say it on the radio now because you know the truth, you know the fact. But we talked about the Billie Jean King and the other fella.
Oh, Billie Jean Bobby Ray. Well, what do you want me to say about that? I talked.
You know what to say, John.
Look. Billie Jean did tennis a solid with that, okay? A solid.
Yes.
And women's tennis. Do you know, here in Houston, it's the founder, the Houston Racket Club. I want to do an interview over there. I'm going to talk to Thomas Cook, who's the director, a friend of mine for a long time, and take me around the club because that's where the WTA, the women, signed the contract. There's pictures on the wall of Billie Jean King and Rosie Casals and, all those players. I don't know if Chris Everett wasn't part of that, but anyhow, the history there. I like the history,
so I like to do stuff
like
Chris
that.
Everett, and I know you played with her and coached.
Well, I didn't play with her, but I coached for her, and she's somebody that used to make me very nervous. And then finally, I got through it. But I mean, I'd be working with her students early in the morning. Andy Roddick was, he wasn't even one.
Andy, was it October 2018?
Yeah, we met.
Houston,
yeah, still haven't got an interview. He keeps walking by. I go, hi, Andy. Hey,
Well, actually, he's the only one we didn't want to interview, right?
What's that?
He's the only one we didn't interview with.
He's the only one we didn't talk to McEnroe that day. Talked to Jim Courier, James Blake. We didn't get Andy Roddick, and Andy, I know, I've been over his house with him growing up as a junior. Covering the Invesco series and how we need to look into the Invesco series.
Well, John, but everything just moved in this fast.
I don't think they're doing it.
We weren't set up for Houston or Florida until this spring. And of course, COVID moved in this spring, and we weren't able to do anything. There's no sense in contacting.
That's the Legends Tour. If anybody doesn't know, the greats, Tommy Haas and Tommy Haas isn't a great, but he got the number 2 in the world. But he actually went out and beat Juan Luis Ferrero, and Juan Luis Ferrero got the number 1 in the world. Tommy Haas never got the 1 in the world. And you were there, were you there watching also? And Ferrero actually took down, Ferrero lost to Tommy Haas. And Tommy Haas isn't even playing tennis anymore. He just plays with his friends out in California, and he runs the big tournament out there now.
Right.
You know, and then James Blake is running the other tournament. But there's a whole nother level of play between what Juan Luis Ferrero can do and Tommy Haas. Tommy Haas was dominating that league too. So here's a guy that should have been number 1 in the world, could have been number 1, that has that special talent, but never made it because of injuries.
And another thing, John, we're going to have at the 20-minute mark, which we've already surpassed, we're going to have the Houston Dynamo. Edgar, he was going to give us a phone call, John, let us know state of the game. Again, Houston Dynamo will be practicing July the 8th, starting practices over at the Sports Park here in Houston. And guys, very, very imperative, just like baseball. They will be practicing individually in mini groups where they'll be separated, John, and practicing. I don't know how that's going to be, but, John, they're going to practice that way.
Chris, I think you promised the station manager owner here that you were going to talk some Spanish on radio, and I haven't heard any Spanish. You guys, better Spanish sports. Listen to this guy talk Spanish. I know everything you say, Mr. Fernandez, okay, so watch it. But his Spanish when he does.
I want the listeners to call in if they want me to speak Spanish.
Okay. Well, you got 2 minutes for your Spanish.
Oh, Shazam.
All right. Go.
Okay. John, what is our number so they can call me so I can speak Spanish?
Okay, it's 281-587-1540.
1540. That's right. Folks, you want me to speak some Spanish? I mean, I am going to do it anyways.
Go.
I want you guys to call me. I can push me to get brave and speak some Spanish.
Are you going to do it on the way back, huh?
Well, yeah, we're going to break in a few minutes. So,
okay.
John, maybe on break time, we'll come back and I'll go over some of the things in Spanish that we've already gone into.
All right, since we're talking tennis and we got about another minute to go here.
Okay.
The U.S. Open is going to be going on also.
Right.
So you got the U.S. Open, and hopefully they pull that off, and I think they will. I don't think they're going to let 60% of the fans in there. And, you know, Houston's on a big shutdown, more than anywhere in the country.
And I'm just wondering, John, I was going to apply for the French Open and the U.S. Open before all this happened. I don't believe that, now that COVID had moved in, I don't believe that I have stood a chance in getting us in. I would have been able to get us in there. But because of everything that happened, that just closed the door on us.
Yeah.
We're going to have to see how next season fares. It could be better for us. Again, I haven't gone to any sport yet. I haven't applied for any sports yet that they haven't told me no. I have not been told no.
Right.
They've always told me yes. I said a little bit backwards. I apologize.
Well, like I said, I'm hoping that, that this even gets kicked off because it could end faster than it even started. Like with baseball, they go in there and they start
we'll go over
training.
that as soon as we come back.
And basketball.
It's very, very important. Some new changes in baseball also, and we'll go over those in just a few minutes. Folks,
Sounds
we'll be right
great.
back.
All right.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is...
Between the ages of 0 and 5, a child's mind is very impressionable. Researchers call it the theta brainwave. This low frequency is the state of consciousness between the conscious and subconscious worlds. In this state, the mind is capable of deep and profound learning, healing, and growth. There is a subconscious loop that's created during these early years. Who you believe you are has been downloaded based on experiences that you have had. A bad experience could create fears and limitations. Do you love who you are? Do you believe in yourself? The reality is that you can't control your childhood. All you can do is interpret it. You can choose to see your good and your value. Try this experiment. Project forward. See yourself at 80 years old. Now you have lived a lifetime. What advice would you have for your younger self? What risks would you have taken? What relationships would you have avoided? Did you celebrate life? Did you allow yourself to feel, to be present? Your 80-year-old self would tell you to not live in fear, to have faith that things will work out, that all you have to do is persist until you succeed. Your 80-year-old self would tell you to stay healthy, to take care of your body. And it would ultimately tell you to share your gifts with the world.
Bienvenidos de nuevo a Global Sports Network. Con ustedes, Chris Fernandez, John Foster. Regresamos con deportes. John, U.S. Open coming back.
Sí, señor. The U.S. Open. That's about it. Muy poquito.
Muy poquito.
Muy poquito. Even though I married a Colombian, she learned her English. I didn't learn my Spanish.
How terrible. Yeah.
Of course, Miss Fernandez doesn't help me at all. Mr. Fernandez, not his wife, a girlfriend. Friend of mine that doesn't help out at all.
So do you know if they're going to have any restrictions? Are they going to have any new policies as far as being safe with COVID in U.S. Open or the French Open?
Well, of course. Like I said, the locker rooms, I'm sure they quarantine. What they've been doing at these smaller tournaments is quarantining them, putting them in a bubble. They go to a player. They're doing it at houses. They have a tennis court. And it's so funny, you're watching pro tennis and you see the basketball court there and you see the house and they got the cameras set up and they're doing, they got the flyer going around, what do you call that? The drone, right. Which is excellent, So the coverage is very good, but you're seeing it like it's backyard tennis, but it's pro tennis. Right. And once again, I think it's like I said with the baseball, the play is going to be down a little bit, because it's more like you're playing in your back. You're playing a tennis match, which we're all used to doing when you're a tennis player. I mean, you grow up playing matches like that, so it's really no big deal. Right. And I don't know. How do you feel about that? Do you think the football players and everybody?
I think we touched a little bit about that last Friday. And how do you feel about that? You used to play tennis, John. Do you need to get psyched emotionally?
No. See, this is what I'm saying. Do you think those basketball guys? Now the only thing is
different for every other sports, John.
No, but the only thing is like when you
golf, you're quiet.
Yeah, when you do something great like in basketball, that when you've been behind and then you make that basket to go ahead and that roar and and then you got not only are you excited but the behind you all the enthusiasm, and you look around just like I put it to like when I used to box. This is and you're in there boxing and you look out sometimes into the audience. I mean, you're in the middle of it, but you'll catch somebody like going, yeah, and they're like, hey, I'm doing pretty good here, because you really, sometimes you can't tell, but when you look out into the audience, every now and then you get a glimpse and you see people all excited. So, but no, I mean, you're in there doing your thing. You're a professional. You've done it your whole life. I mean, you're going to lose if you don't have that focus.
Right.
And
we talked a little bit about baseball when we first came in, John. And for folks, not so much in maybe baseball, but I know in basketball, and I know for sure in the NFL. We're going to cover the NFL in a little bit. We're going to cover a little bit up to Texas towards the end of the program.
That sounds good to me. I like that.
That's good, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Everybody wants to hear Texans.
Texans.
And Cowboys. No, I'm just joking.
Right.
Texans.
I'm not a Cowboy hater.
When it comes to those folks, and they say, well, at the beginning of the season, they say, well, you know what? If I don't have fans, I'm not going to be able to perform, or I don't want to play in front of an empty stadium, quote unquote, some of the NFL superstars.
Right.
So, John, my thing is, if they're superstars and they get paid, and you say, well, they don't make that money, they do make that money. So if they get that money, what more of incentive do they need to play
Chris
on the field?
Chris.
John, why do they need fans?
You know what? People, you talking money. Well, I don't know. There might come a day that they do look at the money, and then it becomes a business. But those guys didn't get there thinking about the money. They got there playing the sport, being good at the sport, loving the sport. Now there comes a day maybe, and that would be it. That's a sad day where you turn around and you go, how much money did I make? Oh, you know what? I got to go do this.
I'm gonna tell you something, John.
So there's that, and then there's also those people once they get paid that they're done. Sorry, go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
Yeah?
I want to hear.
When that there's I can see there is a day. I mean, I never reached that day where I was making a living doing what I love to do, and then it's not there anymore. But hey, I got to play this year, and I'm making X amount of money, and I'm sure there's people that go through that hey, I can't be putting my body out there and doing this and that. I know as a professional athlete, when I reached that level, I know that there would be times where I would push it and times I wouldn't push it. On points and games and matches, and people don't realize this. When you're playing the pro tour and you're going tournament to tournament to tournament, or like any sport, there comes a time where, hey, next week I'm going to be on, and if I push it right now, I could tear something or hurt something in my body. Right. And I don't give it 100%. Did I want to win that match? Or yeah, but I had other plans, here. Now as a professional athlete of the past that says something like that, maybe a little understanding there.
Right. Like in Jerry Maguire and Any Given Sunday, these superstars, and both of them depicted, NFL players, or played, they depicted NFL players. And you have these guys receiving funds, money, but they could be getting more, but they're reserving their body because they don't want to get hurt, which is, of course, part of the game. So in case most people don't realize it, part of their salary, John, so in case you don't know, goes to their attorneys and medical and attorneys, their medical, and the other half goes to them. So their legal, medical money is getting taken care of. When I say medical, I mean their insurance, life insurance, health insurance.
Nowadays, yeah.
Nowadays, that's what they're looking at.
Nowadays, yeah.
That's
Nowadays,
why-
they're looking out for them a little
That's
bit
why
better.
when you're making,
they ought to have finance.
that's why when you're making $1 million a year, you only look at it and say, okay, well, instead of $1 million, I'm paying this, and I'm only getting 600,000.
Right.
That's when they talk about guaranteed money. This is what the team is guaranteeing that you're going to get in pocket. Everything else comes from promotions, signing with Foot Locker, Foot Locker's a long time ago, Adidas. But of that money, there's a percentage that goes to your legal, administrative, to the league, and to your insurance, your health. So you keep a lesser portion than what it's really shown out there.
Right, and people,
So I
people don't
understand what
understand
you're
that.
saying.
Yeah, and there was something I was going to get on before you said that. Yeah, but it's okay. When athletes make that kind of money, they don't realize that they're a lot of times they're going to. You know, most professional football players are retired. You know, are broke at after 7 years. You know, and they don't. I mean,
Sean, I know a few, John.
yeah, they don't save their money. They think they're going to make that every year. I mean, I made that mistake in tennis and my career. You know, I was making $100,000 a year. I thought, okay, I'm going to make 200, and 300, and I bought a nicer car and better stuff.
I have the experience in another field, which is music. I was a music producer. I had different artists, John, and unfortunately, they have that mentality that I have the money, I have the millions coming in right now. Let me get a house for my mom. Let me get a house for my sister. Let me get a new car. Let me get another new car for them. I'm gonna get a new truck, a new
You just
car,
did
new
that.
camper. Yeah, well, I get new cars every year, you know, John. But point is,
You gave a lot away too,
guys, you always have to pay taxes on this, and that's what professional sports athletes forget, and that's what that's what artists, music artists, and actors forget, is that they have to keep paying on that house. They have to keep paying that real estate, which is called taxes, and they don't do it, John. So when they lose their career or get paid less or get injured,
I got my point again. Okay, you know the position I'd hate to be in, and I don't know how. Like the quarterback, like Deshaun Watson, he knows he's worth $250 million, $300 million right now.
That's it.
Let's say he goes out there and he gets hit wrong. It's over. He's not going to make that $250 million anymore. You know, he's not going to get that. It's gone. I don't know how he could play with that.
And John,
you know, that's a tough pressure to play with.
Right. And the other thing, again, in doing that and saying that, folks, it depends on how your contract individually is structured in any one of those sports, John. So if you're a quarterback, your contract is structured totally different, and your dollar amount, your worth, is a whole lot different than a defensive end or a regular lineman.
What do you think of
John?
Clowney's right now stuck in a quandrum. I mean, he should have probably made his check, but he can't. And remember? Oh, you were with me. I met Clowney I was with my girlfriend. We walked in, and Clowney was there. He's a nice guy. I went over and talked to him. I would have put that little talk in there, you know.
Well,
way back when.
Way back when, before he was franchised.
But he's not making his money.
We were on the radio because he's franchised. We were on the radio, John.
He might not.
And I told you, John.
Yeah.
And D was telling you that he's going to get a big contract.
Oh,
remember? D, the dart thrower.
Yeah.
He was telling you he's going to get a big contract. I told you, John, Texans will not give this man a new contract.
Yeah.
The Texans are going to
Seattle didn't do it. Seattle didn't do it.
And guess what? He got franchised.
Yeah.
Just the market for him is not there.
You know,
he's done.
Now, can we agree on one thing?
Yes.
General Manager Bill O'Brien has made some of the worst deals in the NFL in the history. Not just this year, in the history of the NFL. DeAndre Hopkins, he could have kept him. Clowney, he could have kept him. You didn't need to let him go.
For
nothing.
DeAndre Hopkins.
And that would have made a difference last year. Having Clowney and JJ on the line last year could have put us over the edge. The edge.
Sean, that's right, over the edge.
It would have been over there.
What?
And that's what we waited for so many years to watch.
But Bill O'Brien forced Andre Johnson out. He stopped throwing to that man. Even though he's in his latter years, guess what? He was still better than the roster he had out there playing as wide receivers. You throw that ball to that man till he tells you, I'm tired. He didn't. He stopped throwing to him Yes, DeAndre Hopkins was there. Yes, he was young. Yes, he needed the receptions. I was there when D-Hop got there. I was one of the first persons to interview him on the field, training camp. Let me tell you, I asked him.
Chris is hot on the Texans.
I said, D-Hop.
If you guys want to call it Chris, he's gonna nail him. They didn't do him right, and he's gonna get on him. And I
said, D-Hop. He had like 8 catches that year. I said, D-Hop, would you like to play a bigger role next year? Oh yes, most definitely. I really want to play a little bit more. I want to play a bigger role with the Houston Texans after a season with 8 catches or 7 catches per game. No,
right?
Yeah, something like that. And he was very. He was
That was early 2000s. You're talking
right? No, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I know.
DeAndre Hopkins, like 2016, something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then
I didn't know you talked to him.
Yes.
When you tell me all these things, you're holding some stuff back.
Yeah, I was holding stuff back for the Edge, my friend.
Oh, for the Edge.
This is exclusive. Nobody knows this. Okay. I was one of the first persons to ever talk to him, and to interview him on the field, because very simply, he was not one of the big brightest stars as he is now, or was with the Texans.
How good do you think he's going to be this year?
Wait. I also interviewed Foster when he wasn't. Foster, the running back.
Oh, Arian
Foster, that's right.
He popped up out of nowhere.
You know how, John?
Superstar.
You know how, John?
What?
I would go to the men's room, and of course you have to come off the field and go into the bubble, and then you go in the bathroom.
Right.
I happened to be in there, and then.
You told me this.
Yeah, I was one of the first ones to talk to him, and playing my role. I hope to be on the training team and the scout team, even though I'm not. They got somebody else there now, and this is Arian Foster before he came Arian Foster.
How about before? Because he came out of the blue. How about you talked to Kubiak also? How was Kubiak?
Yes. Oh my gosh. This one too. I'm very upset. Bill O'Brien, take that guy back. I'll take Gary Kubiak any day of the week, any year.
Yeah. How do you like that?
Future.
Our offensive, our coach and defensive coordinator win a Super Bowl.
I'm going to tell you that Coach Kubiak had a lot of bad luck with injuries.
Yeah.
He had the right mind frame. He had the right guys in there. There was just either not the greatest quarterback, not the greatest protection. And I'm going to nail it to you, John. Done I told you. You do not have protection on the line. It doesn't matter who you have as quarterback. I've said on this show, last show, the other show, whichever show, radio station I'm on, if you don't have an offensive line that can protect and hold the defensive forward 4 to 4.5 seconds.
You know what?
You can
I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. And the proof's already happened on something. Okay. Deshaun Watson, the first 7 games, had no offensive line, and he was setting records around the NFL when his rookie season. And whatever Bill O'Brien can't figure out what he was doing and implement that into the game plan, and he never has. He was breaking records, Chris.
Again,
if we look back on that, I don't know, nobody talks about that anymore.
Right.
They don't talk about this, but whatever, that was gold, and he couldn't hold on to the gold.
John,
so keep the bad offensive line and keep doing what you're doing.
John, team.
They were competing with everybody and setting all kinds of offensive records.
They got
a
nowhere.
Defense and you're okay.
They got nowhere.
Maybe throw another guy on the offensive line that knows how to block. Maybe one. You still want him to run around a lot. I'm kidding.
We have several years of quarterbacks that they have great years. They have great throwing seasons, great quarterback seasons. They don't go anywhere. One and done. They go postseason, 1 game, and you're done.
Now this guy's special.
Different. Tell me.
He's special. Well, look at him. Look, you say no, you can't do it. You know how we won that game when he got clobbered? You know what he said? You know what he said when he got him? It's like we needed that touchdown. He saw it coming. He said, "They're not getting me." And he's such a winner. And it was bang, bang, and the next thing you know, he rolls out, he got poked in the eye, and he still throws a touchdown pass. John, you can't make that up in a fairy tale.
All I'm saying is Matt Schaub had the best throwing of any quarterback.
Short yardage, he dumped it off all the time.
The best yardage, yes, John.
Yeah. You know Deshaun Watson has the best percentage in long, in deep throws. He's got the he's more on target with deep throws than any quarterback in the NFL. And guess what? I found out the other day about Deshaun Watson.
What?
when teams play the other top teams, like you got Baltimore, you got Kansas City, name them. Who's the best? Who has the highest passing rating? And
all of those
of
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson does?
No, I'm saying of Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, et cetera. When you put the top 8 teams, and the Texans are part of that, and they play each other, the highest quarterback rating is Deshaun Watson against those teams. Case closed. I say it right now. I'll say it right. Deshaun Watson he doesn't have the arm, maybe, the sidearm and this and that, but he's got a cannon.
And a couple of ups and downs on that.
I'll take him over Mahomes any day.
Right.
Anybody.
We have very short period left of time here, but John, tomorrow we'll be back. We're going to start with the NFL. And of course, one of the things that happened yesterday, the day before, we're looking at the Patriots' new quarterback. Who's the new quarterback?
Of who?
The Patriots.
Oh my goodness. Cam Newton. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's see if he's healthy. But
I've already asked, what do you think, Chris? And I told him, I said, it just depends on what Belichick can he create.
Oh yeah, he's going to change it all up. He's going to change Cam.
You know what? We're going to find out.
And you know what? He might be able to give Cam a little news. Look, hit this guy. Don't hit this guy. Something that keeps him a little more healthy. But Chris, and we talked about this on years in sports before, and I've talked it when he played, and it was our old defensive coordinator Wade Smith. Wade Smith. Mm-hmm. Denver beat him up. I mean, it was totally illegal. Headbutt after headbutt on the goal line, and Cam kept running. I'm like, how did they not call that? And this is when they were coming out with that. I mean, it was helmet to helmet, like 6 of them in one game. How do you do that to the quarterback and not get called on that? It was Denver against them after,
We're going to have to cut a little bit, John. I just want to go over a few things for tomorrow.
Okay, yep.
Tomorrow, we're going to have Houston Dynamo right around 10:20. We're going to have Lily Cristal. She's going to be calling in. She's going to be doing sports, health, and wellness, John. She's going to have a couple of words for us of what's going on in the NFL as far as food, diet, and keeping healthy in this COVID era, John. And we're going to talk a little bit more Texans and the NFL. Remind me to start with this tomorrow, John. Very important. Cam Newton is a Patriot. We're going to talk the top 3 teams, the first 3 games for the Texans.
You think it puts them over the edge?
I think that if Belichick can frame a certain offense where it takes all the skills of Cam Newton, puts him to work, and we'll find out the $1 million question.
And it has the best defense in the NFL last year.
Or Brady?
Right.
We'll find out this season.
Right. On the edge.
Right.
On 1540 AM, Houston,
Guys,
107.
Thank you for having us here on Global Sports Network, John. What's the call number here, John?
Yeah. What's the call number? 281. Is it right there, Chris? As I put it away.
587?
Yeah, 587. 1540.
That's right.
And that's 281, right?
281.
Yes,
correct.
587.
I look forward to tomorrow. We're going to have Lillian here. So I just talked to Walter. He's going to be here tomorrow.
Man.
We'll be doing a whole lot more Spanish tomorrow.
This hour
a lot of
goes,
soccer. We're bringing the Texans. We're bringing the Dynamo tomorrow. So
this hour goes by fast, Chris.
It was too fast.
Yeah, and you didn't speak. I think you forgot how to speak Spanish,
no,
Chris.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
We're supposed to have 2 hours, John, but hopefully we'll get to that. We're doing it like this for right now.
And you promise you're going to talk more Spanish tomorrow?
I promise.
For our Spanish listeners?
I have to with Lillian.
You better. Oh, Lillian's going to talk Spanish.
She speaks
Finally,
Spanish.
we'll bring somebody in here that knows Spanish. You're not even. I don't even believe you. You're not even Mexican.
Vince, you speak Spanish?
Huh?
You speak no?
No Spanish.
That was a producer.
I speak muy poquito.
Muy poquito.
Yeah.
Guys, watch us tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Same bat.
This is KGBC, Galveston, Houston, 1540 AM, and K269GS, Pasadena, 101.7 FM.
1540 AM and 101.7 FM Houston, Pasadena, Clear Lake, Galveston.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Back pain can be very disabling, and when your back pain radiates down your buttocks and legs, it's called sciatica, and it can disrupt most of your activities of daily living, such as work and exercise. Hello, this is Dr. Arango with Arango Chiropractic Clinic to inform you that back pain and sciatica are two completely different things. Low back pain is usually due to strain or injury to the joints, muscles, and ligaments supporting the back, with the pain focused on the muscles next to the spine, and potentially it can move into the buttocks. Sciatica implies inflammation of the sciatic nerve and is most commonly associated with a herniated disc. If you are experiencing low back pain or sciatica, please call us at 713-868-6166. 713-868-6166, or look us up at HoustonChiroClinic.com.
1540 AM and 101.7 FM. Edge Radio.
Business owners, thought leaders, when you're ready to connect with new customers, your radio station has the edge you need to succeed. Call 281-744-0446. For more information, call 281-744-0446.
Are you ready to be pushed over the edge? Edge Radio, coming soon to 1540 AM and 101.7 FM Houston, Pasadena, Clear Lake, Galveston.
Our business is helping your business from Galveston to Houston and beyond. 1540 KGBC.
Well, give us a call. 281-744-0446. 281-744-0446. Been feeling a little edgy lately? Listen to Edge Radio. That'll push you over the top. 1540 AM and 101.7 FM.
Advertising doesn't cost you money, it makes you money.
Well, give us a call. 281-744-0446. 281-744-0446.
They say singing can help you remember things, so here's some tips for parents out there during these tough times.
Number one,
make sure your kids...
I want to introduce to you a gentleman that I've come